bit more right here. Actually, the current schedule. So, our current schedule as of right now is going to get done with Waifu Core. This is kind of our essential thing, what we need to get done right now. Then we're going to have Media Week, which is just going to be indulging a week of media. Then we're going to have Dark Tones, Dark Corners and Old Tomes. Tomes followed closely by Oji-san Demon Slayer, Oji-san Demon Slayer Corporation. We're also going to be adding in Project Tactics Flag Bearer here in the middle, though I might just actually shorten this down to Tactics Flag Bearer just to get the idea across a little bit more. So these are the current assortment of things that need to be done, which I'm feeling pretty good about. We've made pretty good time on a lot of things. So one thing to note is we go back to not the Waifu Core prelims. We want to actually go to Deep Blue Girls. Deep Blue Girls, I've actually made pretty decent progress on. I fixed this up last night, made this a little bit nicer to look at. Fixed this up, made it a little bit nicer to look at. Fixed up some of the classes just to make things a little bit easier to understand. Changed combat to guts, changed heart to passion. So hopefully these get kind of across more what the idea was, as well as added in some more ideas behind traits. It's not perfect. I still need to clean this section up, but once that's good, like we've made pretty solid time on things. Hello, phone. But yeah, we've made pretty good time on things if that is the case. Looking at how things are going to be developing and how I plan on doing things, this is going to be probably next Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So probably my goal is by next week to get this done. If it happens, I don't know. Hopefully, but maybe not. I don't know. We live in Clown Town. We live in a society, and that society is made of sadness. So, let me just double check everything to make sure everything looks good. No, we're not going to be working on that today. We're going to be looking at mostly at Flesh Mech Annihilator, because Flesh Mech Annihilator has been kind of the bugbear project that's been put on the back burner for a little bit, because I just haven't had really the opportunity to sink my teeth into it to make things work properly with it. So hopefully today is the day for that. And it looks like I'm going to be flying alone, so it's going to be great. Lets me drink to my heart's content, so I don't have to think about anything. So let's get down to business. So, yes, Flesh Mech Annihilator, for those who don't remember, Flesh Mech Annihilator is a game about being part of a flesh mech, which is a giant hulking abomination of sadness, flesh, and sinew that wants nothing more than to kill things. It's the bastard child of, bastard offspring of Seiya no Uta and Gundam. I want to get across survival is deadly, the world is deadly, and sometimes the only thing you can rely on is the entity trying to devour your soul. Because we're on the corpse of a divine meat god who wants nothing more than to devour us in our very existence. I don't care whose shirt you wear. So, from last time is I got a lot more done actually. Actually, wait a second. Meat armaments. I double check that. Now, one of the big things is obviously our systems are entirely derived based off our literal systems. And our derived statistics from here are pretty simple. It's things like what's your nervous plus your cardiovascular system. That's what your stem, that's what your pretty much brain stem is made out of. Your stem reaction, your sensory systems, your motor functions. Which kind of brings down to starting meat armaments. Actually, what I should do is each flesh mech has 2 antibodies. Bodies and a number of... And actually, we gotta double check this real fast. And meat armaments. No, we want to look at number of meat armaments based on their class. And pretty much these are your basic meat armaments. They are things that are ingrained into your body in more ways than one that effectively allow you, well, to be a horrifying flesh abomination, because holy shit, you're a monster, please die. So what I need to do is I need to Flesh Mech Annihilator, FMA. And that reminds me, just to make sure that I can data create filter. We want to filter our... Most of these are made out of actual, like, bones. That was the idea, is that everything is based off of bones in one way or another. I think one of the biggest issues I'm facing is that there's a lot more based off of muscular than nervous, but that's kind of something I just have to work with. But... there we go. Yep, here are all your basic attacks. Like, these are your basic armaments. You're always going to have a minimum of 2, though maximum you can have is 3, depending on what your class is. Which, again, you may not want 3. You may only really need 2. Hence why you can have things like your Scythe Radius or your Spinal Striker, which is ripping your spine out to beat someone to death with it, because you are, again, a horrifying abomination. Now, your antibodies are pretty much like your special abilities. These are your big things that make you special and terrifying to everybody around. Some of them are pretty simple. If we zoom in here a little bit, we zoom right here. Oh, didn't mean to do that. That's not how things work. Oh, wow, you look absolutely atrocious. God damn it. God, son of a... Come on. Click right. There we go. So most of these are fairly basic. And if they look familiar, it's because a lot of them are actually derived from a game called Dungeon Tactics we actually did on here. Which a lot of them are, in fact, just from Dungeon Tactics. You may be saying, Notepad, that sounds really uncreative of you. And the answer is, yes. It is uncreative. However, sometimes you don't get that option. So let's organize. I gotta organize these into alphabetical order. So we actually want to do antibodies. Antibodies, turn off filter. We want to not turn on the filter yet. Now, a lot of these moves are things like meaty whack. Fleshmen wax a target adjacent to them. Adjacent to them, making a melee attack that deals muscular damage and shove the target 1 tile away. That is what a majority of the antibodies are going to feel like. They're going to be very simple, very to the point, but that's the point. The point is not to really make them like these big and exciting things that just that immediately just smack you and you're alive or you're dead. That's not the point. The point is that you're making them to do something. Like, oh, your Oil Slick Strike augments their next attack to inflict burning 1 on the next target it strikes. Yeah, you can just inflict burning on it because you've cased your entire arm in, or cased your spear in, like, your fucking bone spear in oil from your body. Which, having to learn that, like, technically your body is flammable because of the oils in it. It's like, okay, that's kind of fucking disgusting, but I'm in. Then you kind of get some boring ones like, oh, you take aim, you will deal +2 damage to your next basic range attack. Which what I should do is actually, should I actually put these as range? Actually, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put range 5 to melee, melee to melee, melee to melee 3 2. Actually, do I want to put in something like that? We can actually, know what we can do. We can put these in as a ranged weapon. Range armament. Range armament. 7th rib bow. Yes, this is a range armament. Clavicle whip. No, it's not. The cranial crusher. No. Femur cleaver. No. Humerus spear. No. Phalanges claws. No. The scaphoid stabbers. No. The scythe radius. No. Spinal striker. No. Spur shooters. Yes. Tooth ejector. Yes. You understand kind of what I mean? Like, I might need, like, additional ranged weapons, which I'll probably ask the people and see what they can come up with. Because I think that would be kind of cool. Because I'm trying to base it off of bones, most like your main weapons are going, like, your basic weapons that you have are based off of your bones doing something. Which, bones in the body. Because, like, here's the thing. The human body is an astoundingly complex thing. And, like, a majority of, like, bodily functions are actually not terribly complex. So it's like, oh, your tibia, your patella. But some of them are, like, kind of hard to come up with, like, ranged items. Like, what do you do? Even, like, 7th rib. Like, the 7th rib idea was the idea that your rib is being used as a, like, makeshift bow. Okay. Bones in an animal. No, but not human. Let's see. Inhuman bones. Bone zone! That'd be a good thing for, like, literally just shooting something out. It's kind of hard to come up with, like, ranged options for that. So, we'll think about that later. Things like the tooth ejector get, like, rapid, stun, wind up, bleed, stick in. There's a couple options. And what we want to do is we want to get these. We want to put you right here. Slam, put you down here. So, antibodies. Antibodies are your special powers. Let you do cool things for cool reasons, because I think those sound cool. So, let's see, 38. So, 38 divided by 2 would be 19. That's kind of a weird number, but I can work with that. So, let's see. I'm also halfway down the list because I'm a fucking idiot. So it'd only be 10. Yeah, there we go. So let's take a look. We need 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we do 1, 2, 3. Put you right here. 4, 5, 6, 7. So we want to kind of get the idea that these are in the list together, and then we need the remaining 6. So it would be 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6. There we go. If you can't tell, these do not really like the fact that they are gaseous explosion, howl at the moon, lift and slam, power swipe. One time, inflicting stun 1, swipes the body in a straight line. There we go. Meaty whack. Like Primal Smash and technically Meaty Whack are the exact same thing. However, they do change ever so slightly in the application. In the application department, mostly because they are ever so slightly different in what they do. And that's fine. We want to do center, center. Push aside, ravage, static charge, taunt, tremor spike, trigger dodge. Middle, center, black on black. There we go. Let's double check. Okay, cool. So I believe our character creation is done. Like we've got everything pretty good here. So let's just do a quick example character. That's all we want to do. We just want to make a basic sample character. So actually, you're going to have possibly up to 5 meat armaments. Let's tone you down, actually. Skills. Skills. These would be antibodies, wouldn't they? Antibodies. But you want to be getting an antibody right off the bat. So you would instead, what would skills be? I forgot how to put 2 skills. Do I have anything? No, it would literally be antibodies. So your antibodies, you can get 4. So, alright. So your total antibodies are at maximum 4 plus. You can have 6 antibodies right off the bat, but you're doing effectively a double. Oh lord, I did a goof. You're effectively making a controller supporter, but that's kind of your entire job. Yeah, like stomach acid attacks, like I was going to be folding those in later on because it was what they have to do is let's see, dungeon tactics. That would be dungeon delvers. Just to give you the extent of what this project is going to be looking like, and why it's not going to be like, why it's not a main project either, is if I go to dungeon tactics, go to my version, So, to give you the idea of like why this project almost killed me, these are the class abilities in this game. Every time you advance, you get more. There are technically, if every class has 3, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 times 3. So that would be 27 per class. And if we have 27 per class, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There are technically 324 abilities in this game. And that is 324 abilities I'm going to have to cut down to make abilities for Fleshmic Annihilator. So yeah, Stomach Acid's going to be in there one way or another, if I like it or not. So, okay, so if we're making this, let's make... I could probably put you like right here. So let's make, we'll make Jackie Blood. And he's going to be we'll call him a Guardian. We're going to give him big one. And he's going to, with his, his Parasite, he's going to call him Billy. Billy is going to be I'm feeling a supporter. He wants to make sure Jackie lives. So, Jackie, because he is a Guardian, he's going to get plus 30 health, plus 30 carrion on top of everything. He's going to get 1 antibody and 1 armament. And because our Parasite Billy is here, Parasite Billy is going to give him 5 additional carrion and 2 additional antibodies. He's going to have 3 antibodies in total, and he's going to have only 2 armaments. So, let's see. We probably, since we're going to be a Guardian, we're going to want to be as tanky as physically possible. So, let's do Integumentary 1. We'll do Cardiovascular 2. I would say Muscular 3. Billy wants to protect his chart. He's probably going to go with Lymphatic. He's going to Lymphatic, Digestive, and then into Nervous, probably. He doesn't give a shit about nervous attacks. Because we're not going to be dealing with any range, pretty much. So, our total carrion, pretty much our total health currently, is going to be 65. We are insanely tanky. Our cardiovascular system is going to be... Okay, so our cardiovascular system means we're going to have a plus 4. We're going to have 4 save. We're going to have a 4... Let's say a Fizz save. That's pretty much like 4 armor. Muscular, we're going to have 6 damage on our muscular attacks. Lymphatic node, because it is a stat number 4, we're only going to have a 2 in our ability saves. We're going to have really bad digestive. We're only going to have 2 part damage. We're going to have literally 1 nervous damage, range damage. We are going to be almost helpless at range. That's kind of the idea with Parasites, is that, because you got to remember, a Parasite, you're not playing the Parasite. Another player is playing the Parasite, and they're trying to help you. So it's like, well, here are my 3 abilities. Your friend across the table being like, we're choosing these ones, I don't want you to die. And you're just like, but I was hoping you'd pick something more useful, being like, fuck you. Hence why it's saying, like, technically as a supporter, it's smothering and poisonous. Just someone who's smothering you. Just like, I want to help you, I'll save you. So let's do our derived statistics. So our nervous plus cardiovascular. Cool. Our STEM reaction, pretty much our initiative, is a whopping 5. Not very high. Not very high at all. our nervous plus muscular, so that would be 1, 6, so that would be 7 divided by 2, so we would effectively have a sensory system of 3. And our motor functions is pretty good. We're going to have 5. We are really damn fast, but we need to be because we are acting like dead last. We are tanky as fuck. We can't really see that far ahead of us, but we can move decently quickly. So what would our 2 armaments be? We want to look at something that's going to make us fairly quick, but we don't really want to worry about muscular. I think having a cranial crusher, which would be muscular plus 2 damage, so it would be 8 damage. Probably a spinal striker. Which would be 9 damage. Do we have any range equipment, or do we just say fuck it? Because the thing is, like, humorous spear isn't even useful because it's so far away. No, we'll go with femur cleaver because I think that's funny. Femur cleaver would be 4 plus 6. We do 10 damage. So pretty much the cranial one allows us to pretty much pierce armor. Spinal striker allows us to stun people to down, and the femur is our executor. Like, that's how we kill people. But it's all like range 1. So we got to close the distance pretty good. Let's see, we got 3. Oh, we only get 2 armaments. I think you would probably strike out the spinal striker. That pierce is too good. Let's see, what would be some good ideas for our guy, his special abilities? You know what? He would want to be a little bit more protective of his people, so he would go meat on bone. He gets 3 of them. Berserk would be pretty good for him because he just gets to go sicko mode. And haunt, yeah. Alright, there's our character. Jackie Blood and parasite named Billy. They are really tanky, really fast, and they want to close the distance and they want to protect the people around them. Will they survive? Probably not, because welcome to Meat World. Fuck you. But it is working. We got a few options around, and that's all that really matters. And even then, like, he's not doing nearly as much damage as he could be doing. And just in case you're like, wow, 65 health seems like a lot. Like, a basic femur cleaver's doing 10. That's 10. Like, he gets hit 6 times. He's effectively already down. It's actually not too hard to do damage. So, okay. You're working that way. We can move on to the next section. We already have derived statistics. We have all our starting abilities. Starting equipment. We don't need to worry about that. We don't need to worry about the race. Which... I can't actually upload this one. Fun fact. I can't upload this one because its Dungeon Tactics right here is still technically not fully published yet. And I have been waiting for it to be published through Stormforge for a while now. They have not contacted me at all since I last finished it about last year. Fuck me! Wait, no, okay, that had to be from last, like, this had to be from not last August. So, like, last August, holy shit, it's been a year? No, let's see, when did I finish Dungeon Tactics? About February. Yeah, so that would be 7, 8 months. It's been a few months. But This game is actually, it was fun. I didn't like writing at the time, but like Dungeon Delvers was like, this is how I want to do it. But they made like requirements like you have to do this, have to do this. Hence why you have things in my version, which is like technically being a dwarf is here, you know, like, oh hey, you're half dwarf, half elf abomination. Because dwelves are incredibly not underused, I feel. So let's see. Combat in the dungeon. Based off character's current action point. Characters start battle 5 AP equal to their initiative value. At the start of their turn, characters restore 5 AP. Yeah, your stem reaction is pretty much going to have to be that. You're probably not going to be getting that much unless you like pump it, bump it. Okay, so yeah, not exactly a complex game. There was a lot of game, but not a very like a lot of game. So what we want to do, we want to do exploration in the grill. Jockeys exploring the world of meat they call home now. Home now. Our jockeys exploring the world of meat. Jockeys explore. We want to do jockeys explore the world of meat for a variety of reasons. Some hunt for riches. Some hunt for survival. Others for a sense of purpose. Regardless of their blind quest, jockeys and their parasitic partner find themselves wandering in the crazed. What's a good synonym for meaty? Meaty synonym. Dwelf. Where do you use Dwelf? When was the last time you saw Dwelf? Stocky, bulky, muscular, fleshy. Yeah, fleshy. In the crazed fleshy world. Disaster. Disaster rears its ugly head with alarming frequency. In meat world. Frequency in the grill. Forcing the jockeys and the parasites to come to blows or confront, if I can actually spell, confront a larger threat that seeks to consume them all. Because one of the big ideas is you're not always working together, because why would you? Because you are literal, meat jockeys. You're fucking flesh mech jockeys. Why do you give a shit about other people? We'll do... Actually, what's a good sizzling combat? No, barbecue. Barbecue beatdowns. No, here's the weird thing about Dwell. Well, one, they're like these fucking weird ass cats. Dwell cats are adorable, by the way. I've actually seen one. Like, this is a Dwell. It's literally a dwarf with elf features. They're really weird. Like, they haven't really been featured on like any like significant like thing. They've never really been a thing. They've always been a like weird thing that always pops up in like what if. That's why I describe them as like half elf, half dwarf, all abomination. Like, something is very wrong here. You are unright. Yeah, Dwelfs look like Dwelf cats. Yeah, no, I'd be down with that. Weird. Like, I've actually held. It was a. I don't think they're called naked cats, but like the furless cats before. They're the freakiest things ever, but they're really cute. Like, they're really nice cats. They just are really freaky, and they're. Oh, what are they? Sphinx cats. Yeah, like I've held these ones before. He was an older kid. He was an older cat. Like, they, like, you hold them, and it's like, this is like really not right what you're holding. Like, your body is like, this is not a cute kitty. This is like some weird flesh automaton that wants to that hates you. Real nice cat though. What was the other like? I've always my mom almost bought a Munchkin cat. Like, she was really close to buying a Munchkin cat. This was the only other weird cat breed that I know of. Like, she really wanted to get one of these things. I managed to talk her out of it because I'm like, Mom, you can't, no. There's a few weird cats out there that, see, I'm weird. I love cats. I adore cats. I like them more than dogs, even. Because cats don't give a fuck. I've always respected that about them. Let's see. Combat. Find themselves in danger. When the jockeys find themselves in danger, their parasite kicks into action. Kicks into action, fusing their bodies to create the flesh mech to defend them. The flesh mech to defend themselves. Parasite, the actual what I should say is the parasite player will always choose when to become the flesh mech. Will always choose to become the flesh mech. Will always choose when to become the flesh mech, even when the jockey does not wish it. Even when the jockey does not wish for it. Which is one of the reasons, like, Lycan cat? I'm gonna have to look that up. Oh god. A Lycoi. What cat? What are you? What are you? Are a freaky looking cat. Ah. Hypoallergenic. That's actually kind of interesting. Ah, God. Yeah. See, let's see. These are the cats my mother loves. She loves Siamese. Like, we actually had a Siamese way back in the day. She was a good cat. But, yeah, what is this? This cat's freaking me out, man. It's a bloodborne kitty. See, that would be like cursed reality, because you damn well known some person's got a cat like this, and that child's name, that fucking cat's name is Gurman or something. Oh, what? Oh, why'd you name your cat Gurman? I thought it sounded cool. Oh no. See, that's always the tragedy when you go in there with like a cat named really weird. Like, if you have any animal named weird, they're like the vet's gonna look at you being like, "Really? Did you really name this cat?" See, they never ask either. They just look at you if they know it's a weird name. It's just like, yeah, don't question it. It's a long story. Sir, why is your cat named Mr. Meowers? You will not understand. See, that's why I've been forbidden from having a dog, because if I ever get a dog, his name is going to be Dog Meat. Like, like, Notepad, no, you can't have a dog named Dog Meat. Even the jockey does not wish. Let's see. Put this right here. The jockeys will act in accordance with their initiative of their stem reaction value in descending order. With the flesh mech. With the flesh mech acting with the highest stem reaction, acting first. Flesh mechs or enemies actually will actually put characters that ambush another will have a free set of actions before initiative, before calculating the order of combat. So we have to based off the current action point. All characters start the battle with 5 AP equal to their initiative value. With 5 AP. This was actually one bit that he actually fought me on a little bit. Because this was my idea. Was you give everyone 5 AP, everyone starts the exact same. He wanted it based entirely off the initiative value, which I was like, that's going to like favor some characters really dramatically, while others are going to suffer for it really badly. So it becomes kind of a weird thing. But he's like, no, this is the way I want it. And I'm like, okay, you are the one paying me, so I'll give you what I want. Hence why I wrote my own version. Am I a bad person? Yes. Do I care? No. But what we can do is we can put this down here. We can put you like this, and we want to make you the right heading 3. Normal text. All actions are based off the flesh mechs. Current action points AP. All flesh mechs start the battle. All flesh mechs start the battle with 5 AP. At the start of their turn, the flesh mech will restore 5 AP. A flesh mech can end their turn early, saving any remaining AP for the next. For the next, up to a maximum of 10 AP. When a Flesh Mag takes an action, they must expend a number of AP specified by the ability by the action. Actually, when a character takes, I'm going to input character here. When a character takes an action, you now have a negative AP debt or have negative AP at the end of the turn. So that means we can move on to this section. Right way of doing this. Every character has basic set ability. They're able to perform combat with individuals having specific abilities and specific antibodies, which is say antibodies and tools to add, to augment, or add additional actions. All abilities are designated by 3 components: name of the ability, effect of the ability, AP cost. What we should do is something like this. Each action is also split up between battle and defensive actions. Battle actions can only be taken during the character's turn, while defensive actions can only be used on the opponent's turn to block attacks or dodge out of the way. Okay. So if we use, didn't mean to do that. I want to hit Control C. Will everything fit on one? I don't think it will. What I'm going to do is we're going to normal text this, bump it up to 14. Because after doing, I've learned one thing. After doing enough PDF stuff, this is very valuable. Not actually making it a heading, but just kind of over bolding something. Very useful. Do that. Game design tips with Notepad. Oh god. That's one. And 3, 2, 1, and pop goes the weasel. So we want to select all of you. We want to do normal text. So we don't want to do that. We want to do you. So this works. Actually, it should be the character uses. Actually, what it should say is uses gear on their person. Something that you found. Interaction as they roll pick up 1 AP. Moves a. Yeah, a character moves into an adjacent tile. That's what we're just gonna call them tiles, not 5-foot tiles, because flesh mechs are kind of fucking huge, and I don't want to do the math behind that, because that sounds unfun. Character uses a battle ability, uses an ability, actually uses an antibody. Antibody they have access to strikes the target with base attack from their weapon, dealing damage equal to its value. Uses the remaining AP to add to their physical protection. Alright. Yeah, physical protection. And then interacts with a nearby object they are able to pick up. Moves into an adjacent tile. We're going to make that 2 AP. Because you're going to be shoving flesh mechs. It's literally you just like barreling into something and shoving them away. Like that, you're not exactly the most elegant thing. But you're also, again, hulking abominations of God, so I don't really expect you to be all that elegant. AP equal to double the attack value. Dodges out of the way of an incoming strike. Move to the adjacent tile. AP equal to double the melee attack value. Or equal to the range. So we want to specify it. Range attack value. Equal to double the melee attack value. Moving to an adjacent tile that has state, they have stun 2, meaning AP. AP equals to damage being blocked. Yeah. Because it's actually not that complex. Like, combat and dungeon tactics was never, like, the intent was like, man, it's time to make things really hard. Like, that wasn't the point. Like, player wants to do an action that's not covered here. For example, assign AP value to get a flesh mech. What did I end up calling the GM in this game? I remember it was something really stupid. It was like Grill Master. Oh, Meat Lord. That's what it is. But you don't want to be a Meat Lord when you grow up? Come on. Meat Lord returns. Let's take a bit of time. Requires to be paid to do. Simple actions, stamina, effort. Yeah. Alright, so let's see if we can get the rest of this in. Battlefield is the area which the fight is taking place in. Oh, wow, I am the fucking genius. Do heading 3. Not title. We can just do movement. Actually, look. Grill and Beyond. Movement. Let's do 3. Do the battlefield. I don't want to do title. Why do I do this to myself? Why am I the way that I am? Again, the entire like pitch of this game is to say everything with like a degree of like devil horns to the sky and like a deep guttural part in your throat. It's the not Flesh Mech Annihilator. Flesh Mech Annihilator. Yeah. And it's like, all right, cool. Yeah, am I playing the Meat Lord? Yeah, you are playing the Meat Lord. Being like, don't worry, I'll just hit you with my cardiovascular system. That's just, yeah. Like if you don't do like the proper amount of metal in the background, something isn't right. And I've failed in my endeavor. Now my fucking throat hurts. God. Bleh. Yeah, blast some electric wizard, get into your flesh mech, and punch other flesh mechs in the face. And the entire reason this game even exists is just because of this game. And I got really annoyed that it existed. Notepad was annoyed. Extreme Meat Punks Forever just existed. And it's like, for a game literally about giant flesh bots, you're not really making it about giant flesh bots, are you? You're not doing it. It's like, it's PBTA, everybody. It's like, oh boy. Like, I'm not seeing flesh mechs. I'm not seeing. That's a literal Nirvana t-shirt. Like, 15 pages in. Okay, we've got one instance of it. Like, this is not satisfying my teenage boy brain. Notepad teenage boy brain wants Notepad teenage boy brain want death metal soaring out. But so yeah, Extreme Meat Punks Forever was a very odd game, but it was also using that like the punk thing. Yeah, here's your punks. Do you like punks? Yeah, it's like, oh boy, these are definitely my punks. Okay, maybe the next one. Oh, oh. Like, you look kind of cool, I guess, but you're kind of like a. That's not very punk at all. Like, that's not. This isn't giant flesh mechs. Hence why I made Flesh Mech Annihilator. Because I'm an incredibly petty human being, and I have literally no sense of right or wrong. So, a character is allowed to move into. Actually, a Flesh Mech is allowed to move in any adjacent tile they are able to step on. A Flesh Mech. In any direction of their choice as well. We should put even diagonal. Like diagonal for purposes of square grids. If a Flesh Mech, same rules of move and apply, except tile is considered to be vertical. Character can drop down a tile reasonably safely, while a further than will take two stacking carrion for each tile falling. So you want to do footnote. We want to do that, and then we want to hit 10. For example, we'll do Barry. Barry is pushed off a ledge and falls on the ground. Falls to the ground with a 3 tiles high. He would take 6, 2 let's see. 2 for the 2 for you take 6 damage in total. 6 damage in total, and then it would be 2 damage. 2 damage for the second tile, or tile 2, and 4 damage for tile 3. I'm using the term tiles because scale is pain. Yeah, Extreme Meat Punks Forever is very. There's been a few Kickstarter projects that I'm like, oh, this kind of annoys me, like why this exists. Like, you have a cool idea and you just don't really use it at all. It's like, okay, that's fine. Like, that's cool, I guess. It was based off a visual novel, too, which was really weird. Not like a good visual novel, like kind of a bad one. Proper equipment abilities do not take damage when they fall. Actually, we don't need this section. A character climbing up can easily... can move up tile easily. Requiring assistance for the second tile. Flesh mechs in hostile uneven terrain may require additional AP to be spent for moving. For example, traveling through a partially submerged section. What would it be? A rotten section of the meat of the grill. May take 2 to wade through the carrick. Is that a word? No. Carrion. The act, actually, so the act of being carrion. Fuck it. We through the rotten section of the grill ring through the maggoty muck. If a flesh mech were to find themselves submerged in water, we want to do water or bile. Water or bile. They must expend armor protection in AP to stay afloat. Yeah, actually, find themselves submerged. They will sink. They will sink. They will sink. Taking 3 carrion a turn. Thinking 3 carrion actually would be, let's say 5 carrion a turn. A turn until they emerge. They emerge. Why? Because it's you fall into the water. You are drowning. You're not going to die right away because you are a massive flesh monster. However, you're still drowning. And it's usually not really water either. Don't ask what it is, because you don't want to know. Where, if a flesh mech where to find what? If a flesh mech finds themselves. If a flesh mech finds themselves. Find, not himself, themself. So submerged in water or bile. This is a really weird sentence because I know exactly what it means, but just the writing of it's kind of awkward. So, we want to do the environment next. Okay. I remember this section because he was like, I want to make it like Divinity Original Sin. I feel when you're in a flesh abomination but never learn how to swim. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, again, if I had infinite budget and I actually had the ability to draw, I know how I would portray these things. They would literally be a giant hunk of flesh and sadness. That is all they would be. It's just like a walking, like, flesh abomination. That just, like... I don't even say, like, it moves. It stumbles around. It, like, slugs around as you just start swinging with it. Because I want these things to feel meaty. So, okay. So we want to do... this would be 3, right? Yeah, that'd be 3. Oh, what would be... this gory place. So, the grill, actually, the meat world and the grill are a living ecosystem functioning on its own logic, rhythm and hunger. When exploring its squishy mass, actually no, we would ought to do the jockeys. The jockeys will encounter situations in the environment they can use to their advantage or hinder their progress. The divine meat god does produces many things. produces many things, most of which is hostile. When in doubt, believe in meat Jesus. Meat Jesus will deliver us from this terrible place. Meat world, and the divine meat God produces many things, most of which are hostile. Oh, all effects can be broken. All effects in meat world. Actually, in the grill, we should call it. In the grill can be broken down in 3 states: cloud, surfaces, and liquid. Gaseous mist. Plating quickly. Liquids are watery substance spilled and created, spreading along the ground. Surface in the area can be coated in various things and simply be a kind of object. So, for example, the jockey and parasite. The jockeys, actually, would be a set of jockeys. It'd be jockeys or pull from a jockey. What's the plural form of jockey? Jockeys. Yeah, okay. Huh. Learn something new every day. The jockey, for example, the jockeys come across an area that is filled with the bile, with the blackened bile of the meat god and its followers. Actually, what would be a good with the gaseous remains of a carrion corpse. Gaseous remains of a carrion corpse. While it is sickening to breathe and corrosive to their bodies, actually no. Come across a black bile river. That's what we'll do. A black bile river, corrosive to most bodies. Corrosive to most bodies should they attempt to weight it. The jockeys choose to create a makeshift dam of the small makeshift dam of a few of their previous kills, blocking up the river system for a time. While they are able to cross it, the bile. Let's see. However, the characters have tools, abilities. Can be manipulated. It can be manipulated elsewhere, or simply diluted by another kind of liquid. Elsewhere, and simply diluted by another kind of liquid to lessen its effects. However, if you're also fighting a bileless river, you know what you can do? You can also just fucking try to drown your enemy in it and have their skin melt off. because that's kind of cool. So let's do. What we can do here. Jockey in the meat, jockey in the grill. Actually, jockey in the flesh. That's what we can do. Let's do. We want to do normal text. When exploring the meat and grill, the jockeys may be confronted with problems and situations not easily passed by just having the right resource. Not easily passed. So they will need to put in the extra effort in an attempt to bypass their situation. Actually, what I should say is the jockeys. Jockeys will either have to succeed a flat check or a payment check. Flat check requires a statistic to not be affected or detect a threat in front of them. While payment checks require the character to either pay with their health or items to bypass. Actually, so we need to come up with an example here. So what we can do is an example check. Actually, example checks. While exploring the meat, the jockeys are set up. Actually, while exploring the meat at twilight hours. They are confronted by a shambling creature in the distance. As the jockeys and parasites tense up, the meat lord asks if anyone has a. It would be sensory. Yeah, it would actually be. It'd be a sensory. Sensory systems. Has sensory systems at 4 plus. Two of the jockeys and their parasites agree. Actually, a jockey. Actually, we'll do five up. A parasite jockey. A jockey. Parasites say they do. And the meat lord. Informs them that the shambling creature is in fact just a pulsating tumor of the meat god, harmless if terrifying to witness. Later on. Later on, when confronting a local baron, and when delving into a cave system inhabited by, let's see, what would be inhabiting a cave system that was effectively a flesh monster cave? We would want to do something. It would be inhabited by viruses. Later on, when delving into a cave inhabited by a virus, actually infected, we'll do infected creatures. The group finds a makeshift defensive structure. Structure strung together with the sinew of many other jockeys and parasites who failed to kill them. The Meat Lord informs them that this will be a payment check to tear it down. Payment check tearing down, coming out to a total of 25 carrion among to force the barricades down. However, one of the jockeys informs them that they have a vial of what's corrosive vial. And so we want to do corrosive stomach acid. Hydrochloric acid. Yeah, okay, so we want to do it'd be hydrochloric acid. Vial of hydrochloric actually a vial of acid taken from a nearby spring. The meat lord agrees as they toss the vial at the structure, melting the bodies with a sickening stench. With a sickening stench. There we go. That's pretty much how these work. Like, they're not. This is not the main part of the game. That's the main thing. It's like this was never really like the main aspect of this game. Was like, yeah, here's a bunch of these checks. Like, no, you do just file jockeying the flesh. So we've got resting and dying. Here we go. So we want to change that to normal text. We want to delete that. So dungeon delving is not a task with light of heart. Actually, no. The meat and grill do not care. Do not care for you. Do not care for the jockey or their parasite. Many have tried to carve out a life in this hell, and many of their bones make up the structures that dot the landscape. As the jockeys go further, let's see what we want to do. We actually want to make this really bad. As jockeys delve further underneath the depths, what we want to do. As the flesh mech and the jockeys, fight, kill, and get injured during their expeditions into the grill. They will gradually be chipped away. They will gradually have their ability to defend themselves, and others have their ability to defend themselves, and others be reduced. Have their ability to defend themselves be reduced. Every piece of damage the flesh mech takes is not restored until the jockey consumes divine meat or rests. Even in combat, battle healing only lasts as long as the battle persists. Adrenaline fading fast as the battle comes to an end. Every dungeon will have several. Across the grill, small settlements of other wanderers and non other wander. Actually, we want to do wanderers, and lost kin will gladly accept the jockeys into their ranks, into their homes. These moments of respite allow the jockey to rest and recuperate, restoring up to half of their, it would be pretty lymphatic, wouldn't it? So restoring up to the system, restoring up to the in carrion, as well as get rid of ailments and problems affecting them. Time is short, however. Every moment resting Resting is another moment that you grow hungrier. That they grow hungrier. Actually, so this is going to be one of the unique things. As the jockeys explore, they will find caches of divine meat. Pure intoxicating sweetmeats that their parasites hunger for and can restore their life force as they were brand new. These divine slices of meat, these divine meat chunks are few and far between, leaving the jockeys to rove across the land in search of them as they appear. Parasites will do anything for these divine meats, for divine meat, including attacking allies should they think about stealing it. So this is where some of the tension comes in. If you haven't realized, it's, hey, I really want to eat this divine meat, but my other player also wants to. I will fucking commit crimes. And this is also one of the big things where it's, if you have, let's say, 3 players, well, as a parasite of player A, and player B is a parasite of player A, you want to take the divine meat for your character, but you also want to take the divine meat for their character, so there's that immediate tension. However, player C wants your parasite to have the divine meat, but they also want it for their guy, but player A has their parasite. Like, you're all kind of competing, so it kind of becomes this weird stalemate of like, I want it, but I don't know who I want to give it to. And that's where it's kind of like some of the more dramatic moments will kind of pop up. It's the idea of, well, we have one piece of divine meat, we all want it, and so all our parasites are going to flip into action. We're going to have to kill each other, or we're going to have to just beat the ever-loving shit out of one another until one of us gets it. Because again, no one wants to die, but also nobody wants to give it up. That's kind of the immediate tension. It's just like, I want it now. I will do anything to get my divine meat. Hunger. Okay, so we've got all of this. I think we've made pretty good time. Now I just want to make sure that this is looking the way it should. So we want to hit this. We want to insert. We're going to add in a table of contents, 1 to 3. So we want to do barbecue beatdowns, grill and beyond movement. Probably we can move. What we're going to do is we're going to move movement. We're going to move movement up here. Like right here. And that should, and then, the battlefield. And then kind of more understanding, like, this is what the fight looks like. So, this what the it's kind of like what this is actually, what's taking place during it, and then you have parasitic hunger, which is all about healing. All right, okay, we made some pretty good time on Flesh Mech Annihilator, and what we need to do next time, or I'll probably slowly pick away at it, is do all of these and kind of find which ones work and which ones don't, and kind of assemble them in like a loose formation of them. Like, it'll probably be a lot less formal of what they are. It's not going to be bounty hunter. It's going to be like this entire, like, all the bounty hunter, all the survivalist, all the huntsman ones are going to be their own thing. I think that'll probably be like the best idea. But we made pretty good progress. So what else do we need to do? Let's actually feel sad here real fast, and let's look at Kickstarter real fast, because it's Saturday, and we always look at Kickstarter. I'm actually kind of excited for this one. Looks kind of neat. I'm in. And so we want to do tabletop games. What's here? Actually sorted by, we'll do newest. What's the absolute like newest ones out here? Band of Brothers. All right. Jesus, this got filmed. This got funded pretty quick. Game system. All right, this is kind of neat. I always find it fascinating that some of these games manage to get as popular as they do, where it's like, oh wow, you don't think like a World War II game when you hear from so many people like, oh, it's World War II, it's so boring, and then it gets like $70,000 by the fucking Worthington. That's pretty cool, actually. I mean, I'm down. I like it. Let's see. STL and then STL figures. Miniature designing. Oh wow. Oh wow. Pet carrier style dot and dice box. Oh no. Why would you fund this? Why would you give money to that? Oh, that looks $322 got you 500% funded. You needed $60 for this? Nani? Oh, that's kind of interesting. Jesus, John H. Cone. Damn, Mr. Cone. 54 games created? Who the fuck are you, man? Wow. I mean, Under Occupation, Newly Conquered People, solo card game. Looks like he just does these little games. It's like 81 backers, 14 backers, Blind Monster, Bluff board game. Probably doesn't do that, like, very... These are really small, like 11 backers. Spinning a plastic coin, ramming robots. Oh. Oh man, that got canceled. Print and play manufacturing. Okay, it looks like that's what he's doing. Over the top, a solo World War I board game. Dogs and pig. What the fuck? This is why I like looking at Kickstarter stuff, because you find some magical things. Like, you find some truly mystical things on this goddamn website sometimes. Like, who the fuck is... I mean... Two-person game unless you take on the role of a fencer. This is pretty, like... Roll the classic movie hero, action hero, and he does it for like these really small amounts. I mean, I'm okay. You know what? Fuck it, I'm down. It's literally just a guy being like, yeah, I'm like, always exchange between swordsmen. One thing not provided in the game. Like alternating fashion to complete the classic Hollywood experience of playing this game. Oh, I like the kind of what is this? Like, I'm in. You know what? Yeah, I know. Cool. You know, shine on, brother. That's all I can say. Shine on, Crazy Diamond. Solitaire, a lot of solitaire games. Are all these kind of the same thing? Are they all like hex and shit? Yeah, it looks like they're kind of like hex and shit. Some of them aren't even like hexes. Some of them are just like board games that they just kind of, how you just kind of make. Like, all right, that's kind of interesting. Stalingrad besieged, struggle for Europe. Robin Hood. Dunkirk. Mars Wars. Aw. Mars Wars got cancelled. Old fast, like Band of Brothers Second Chance canceled. Alright, looks like it's a lot of canceled games. Probably ones that just didn't make it, or they just had to quit early. Like the last 52 Meeples on Earth. I wonder what happened here. Update 5. Comments, like what was it? I suppose, but how we look at the project's whole, we believe is not meeting our expectations. Cause Rest with Us is a great game. We've come short presenting its merits. With that, we are canceling the project, and we hope they'll relaunch it. Not meeting our expectations, so it kind of failed before it began, kind of thing. That's kind of a bummer. It's a bummer, but it's like, okay, you know, I'm interested. All right, kind of a cool little idea. Then you have this literal Chad of a human being who's just like, I'm just gonna make random games because I feel like it. Like, all right, cool. We all love we. Like, what is this game? Like, what made this people want to give this 2,000 Jan? Oh wow, morale. Injuries, rolls, wow, it's almost Caravan's 5e camp running module. 80 random events, morale system, like, why though? But why? Adult game of all types, drinkers and party sizes. Last cup, drinking game. I'm already drinking, so I don't need a game. All right, an RPG zine. I'm gonna be doing. I'm doing one of these. All right, cool, cool. Is it a? No, it's just DCC RPG. Okay, cool. Don't care. Who would win? Armored Beasts, Conflict of Dreams, Limbo. Green. Why is there never anything interesting? Like Raptor Island. Okay, I like Raptor Island. I'm in. It's about raptors. Counter dinosaurs to acquire their DNA. Okay. It's card. Oh, prototype. Early 2022. No. No. Madigan's Cafe. A lot of cafes opening up soon. Offset print edition. Kevin Crawford, you crazy bastard. He did it again. Mr. Crawford, please. Mighty War Machines, Dark Future, Arcano. A pretty standard, set of things that are... Yeah, like a pretty standard assortment of Kickstarters this month, like this time around. Nothing is really jumping out as something like really insane. And I think everyone's just kind of reeling from the fact that you had because you had Avatar Legends. Like the Avatar Legends things ended, and it's $9.5 million fucking dollars. Like I think that kind of ate a lot of people's enthusiasm for Kickstarter. So I mean, I'm not really like what do you want to do there? It's $9.5 million. Like you can't really do much else. Oh, I hate this already. Why do I click on these things? Why do I click on Baka Mitai, a City Pop plus Yakuza Paragon playset from the Aegon role-playing game? Oh, what do you mean that? Oh no, you don't. What's Aegon? Paragon system. All right. This looks kind of interesting. Paragon game system. Alternate setting situations. Playsets. Okay, you know what? Let's Aegon. Why have I heard of this name before? Who did it? John Harper and Sean Knitter. Paragon system. Oh, I don't like the fact that this is called Blades in the Dark. You may not read just any RPG book made for mechanics. Paragon system for Aegon. Supplements Paragon system, AegonRPG.com. So we want to do AegonRPG.com. Okay, and so this is all right. We can look around here and see what we can find here. Download the free player kit PDF. Okay, so we'll look into this a little bit later. I think that could be interesting. It's another fucking Matai. I hate it already. Let's do new and popular. What's new and popular? Bottle of the Elf King. Sci-fi horror for a rules light infectious sci-fi horror, otherwise known as it's about 4 pages. Neat, awesome, cool. I love it. Vamp Camp. Furious Roads. What is this place? All right, cool. Believe it. Paragon playset. Okay, Paragon's the new thing now. Okay. What the fuck is this? What? Human beings founded a new way. Living called Aqua Libris. Numerous autonomous Oh no, somebody else intervene. Harmonists. The Harmonists. Can I? Nope, just take me to the downloads. I need it. I need this game. It's in my collection now. Blade Soul. Oh, it's a TSL playbook, everybody. Look, it's a TSL playbook. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Wow, look, it's fucking nothing. Not sword. Literal sword lesbian. Hand of trusted partner ready to battle as... Oh, I don't like... Oh, no. That you literally are LARPing as a sword. I don't like where this is going. Michelle Jones, never heard of you, nor do I feel like it. That was actually the first piece of TSL stuff I've seen in a long time. Actually, that is the absolute first TSL playbook I've seen on here, which is kind of sad. Like, I don't know if that, like, that's like, oh, people are like, yeah, TSL is so great and wonderful. Like, I have not seen a single, that is the first thing I've ever seen on here. Necronophsis Evangelion. Oh, no. Oh, no. Corpse in order to perform a menial task for amounts. What? Wait a second. Wait a second. This is... Oh no, this is Necronica. Oh, wait. Inspired by Necronica and Zombieland Saga, Undead Workers, about undead art workers eating the rich. Literally, tabletop role playing, probably powered by a version of Loom. Wait, it is a tabletop role playing game and will probably be powered by a version of Lumen and definitely use Poe instead of dice. Poe divination? What? What the fuck? With deviate throws or drops 2 wooden pieces on the floor to get the divine answer. Wait a fucking second. This literally isn't a game. No, wait. I need this. It's take it to take. I'm going home. I'm going home. Oh wow, wowzers. Oh wowzers. Let's Evangelion. Okay, so system. Use the Lumen system. Oh, since you can raise 2 coins. When you attempt something measure of risk, you'll throw Jiao Bei number of times equal to the amount of approaches you're using. Character is following. Xingzhao, 1 block flat, another block round. 1 coin face up, other face down. Success. This would be unusual. It's 4 pages. It's $4 for 4 pages. Man, I fucking love indie TTRPGs. I fucking love. It'd be New Zhao. Yeah, it'd be New Zhao. Both blocks coin face up, complication, something bad. Zhao. Both blocks flat, both blocks face up, and neutral and boring doesn't do anything. Both blocks round or both coins face down is a complication. 1 success, but some difficult tasks will need more. What do you fucking... Okay. That... We live in a society. I love indie TTRPGs so fucking much. Man, why the fuck do I even bother anymore? Oh, man. Why do I even bother anymore? Destiny PBTA. Oh boy, let's all clap. We all like Destiny. Destiny is always... Oh no. Like, Destiny is always one of those odd games. Like, everybody wants to run a Destiny game. Your mom wants to run a Destiny game. Your dad wants to run a Destiny game. Your dog wants to run a Destiny game. But nobody actually wants to run a Destiny game. You want to run you want to run, like, specific parts of the Destiny, not actually Destiny. Nobody wants to do that. And that's what, like... baffles me about Lumen. I need to look deeper into Lumen, but I just cannot bring myself to do it. Oh, hello Neon Knights. You're here finally. Firebender Fighter, Airbender Monk, Waterbender Cleric, Earthbender Barbarian, Avatar Metaclass. Wow, 5e. No drink, nah, me need no drink. Okay, so Mr. Ethan here is actually a fascinating duck. He actually got the okay, weirdly enough, to actually market his game. This is like, here's the thing. His game actually, there isn't actually that much of game here. He got the okay to do his game with the blessing of Shonen, effectively the guys who art gather from Canva. Yeah, I'm a fucking graphic designer, same as like he pretty much got the okay from the guys who did Cyberpunk to market his game using them, which kind of baffles me. And it's like, I need to look deeper into this game because, God, they are fucking annoying on Twitter. Holy fuck, I unfollowed them tier. Fucking annoying. Because, like, this is the game. There's actually not that much game here from what I've seen, but good God, that man doesn't shut the fuck up on Twitter. Like, good God, man, shut up. But he just doesn't. It's like, shut up, please. Like, I don't care. You don't need to, like, tell me every single fucking thing you do. He's like, haha, look, I'm a fucking... Give me. Like, I'm super cool and stuff. I'm like, oh, wow, look, everyone, it's $15 fucking for a bunch of white text. Wow, 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 wow. Man, I fucking adore. I adore Itch. Itch.io is a beautiful place. I fucking love Itch. Because every time I go here, I get sadder. Oh, man. Oh, man. Is this by Mastiff Press? No, it's by Gonzalez Games. Man, fucking Mastiff Press is going to be so fucking pissed when they realize this game exists. They have nothing else. Pirate Gonzalez Games. This is their only thing. But looks like they have a bunch of Pokedex 5e, StarCraft D&D. Oh, that hurts me. Subnautica 5e. Oh, he's a degenerate. I understand. He is a subhuman. But it looks like he does a lot of Lancer stuff. God, they're going to be so pissed when because here's the thing. Here's Beacon. Now, fantasy RPG. Wow, it's so cool and stuff. Now, we all want to look at Icon Mastiff Press. This is the same fucking thing. Icon, Beacon. Icon, Beacon. It's the same shit. But what they're doing is that they're capitalizing off the fact that Icon's going to be popular. Any way you look at it, Icon is going to be popular. And they're saying, like, well, here's the fantasy version based off it. And I have a strange and beautiful opinion that it's not actually going to be that much different from Icon. Because that's not the point. The point is that it's not supposed to be that way. The point is that it's supposed to look vaguely similar so you can capitalize off of it. Come on. We're thinking with portals now, kids. Oh, Lord. At least that Yu-Gi-Oh one, I think, is gone. I actually reported that. Thought that was funny. Because I'm an evil human being. Steampunk RPG, Light. Yeah, I've already kind of seen some of these. Oh, look, it's a narrative game. Nobody has ever done a narrative game before. Wow! Ugh. Let's see. Has anyone mentioned here out? Yeah, no one. So let's see what else is out there that we can look at. I don't really much think. Now, one thing to note. So if we go here, is that recently, Icon. Here's the thing with Icon. I like the idea behind Icon. I've looked at the mechanics enough, and I looked at things where I'm kind of hesitant on Icon, and I am hesitant on Icon for two reasons. One, you have a complete disassociation between the non combat section and the combat section. Like, it's a completely different game. They have no crossover, which is really weird to me because it worked in Lancer. And everyone always says, well, it worked in Lancer, but Lancer was a game about piloting a giant fuck off robot and not piloting a giant robot. It made sense there. Icon also kind of has that, but not really. So it's like, okay, why am I a completely separate character? Well, it's not the, well, you can take Bash 5 and that's how you represent it. Duh. It's like, that doesn't count. Because there's also a combat system in that other section. So it's like, what's the goal here, Tom? I don't get it. The other thing that I'm kind of like not entirely sold yet on Icon is the setting, because the setting seems really boring. Like, it's a setting I've seen before. It's like, it's the end times and everything is bad and everything is wrong. Go out there and explore and do stuff. It This is coming from the guy who made Kill 6 Billion Demons, and he literally made every other fantasy setting ever. Like, fantasy and role-playing setting ever. It's just like, I'm not... You have a lot of interesting ideas to explore. Like, oh, hey, here are these bugmen who, like, remember everything. But they don't mean anything. The bugmen do not mean anything. It's based entirely off of culture, and, like, normally I like the culture idea usually because it means a lot more, but this one it's like, here are these bug men, and then here are these like 6.5, like 7 foot tall muscular Amazon women, and super fucking Saiyan men, and they're apparently the exact same. Like, that something isn't adding up there, and it's kind of odd feeling. And then like the bits and pieces I've read about the setting, it's like, I don't know if you haven't expanded on this yet, or this is it, because it's not grabbing me, and it's feeling like it's just it's a non-setting. It's a thing to justify doing what we're doing, rather than actually have something of meat behind things, and that's kind of coming off of Lancer, that feels really weak. Like, mechanically speaking, it's Lancer. He's like, oh, it's not Lancer, but I'm like, it's pretty much Lancer. Like, and in my Lancer curious case, I did say Lancer is objectively good. Like, every part of Lancer is good, but I don't much care for Lancer because I just don't. That kind of thing just doesn't vibe with me. I didn't like the mechs, which is kind of important because I like my stompy mechs. I like stompy diesel guzzlers. That's what I enjoy. I enjoy BattleTech over Lancer and kind of the tone. This one, it's like, it's going to be probably objectively good because he's going to get his pet monkey to do it, and they're also going to most likely focus on that one because they canceled Lancer development. Well, they didn't cancel Lancer development. They postponed Lancer development, and I have a feeling it's going to be the same thing. He's going to write a cool, like, oh, look at this cool setting and look at all these stuff going on. Everyone's going to slobber on his cock, and at the end of the day, nothing is going to happen. And everyone's going to cheer, and it's like going to be like, wow, cool, awesome. I'm completely inside of this currently, and I don't care. Because it doesn't really appeal to my kind of fantasy, the way it's looking right now. And it's like, all right, it's not going to be my fantasy. I'm not liking the mechanics as much, so it can't really vibe with me there. So it's kind of in a weird space for me. Like that's kind of my issue with it. Like it's not really getting what I want from a game like that. So, curious case wise, we actually have a new curious case being kind of that was proposed, and I've got some of the games for it, and it's going to be the curious case of Final Fantasy RPGs. And I find Final Fantasy is one of those weird settings. My dear friends, is Final Fantasy is really odd because you would think Final Fantasy is pretty easy. Like, in theory, Final Fantasy shouldn't be that complex. He says, looking at whatever the fuck Final Fantasy X-2 was. And it's like, alright, you have this, and like, it shouldn't be too complex to actually like make a game out of it. But people have a hell of a time. And I think it's just because of like which ones are really popular and which ones aren't. Because like Final Fantasy VI is really popular. However, Final Fantasy VI almost relies entirely on Terra. And if you don't have Terra, you really don't have Final Fantasy VI as well. It's like, it's kind of the game doesn't work unless you have her. Then you have things like Final Fantasy VII, which Final Fantasy VII was actually pretty mechanically intensive compared to the other games. Because you had things, even just basic things like materia, which you don't think is very important. You don't think, materia is a big deal, but then you kind of look at it and be like, yeah, materia is a big deal. It does play a very significant part in the vibe of Final Fantasy VII, and so there's some other side mechanics, and there's a lot of ideas. But then you get things like Final Fantasy X, which used the ATB system a lot more in depth. And it had its own thing, and it was about fucking something crystals. Like Final Fantasy X had the ATB system. It had characters being able to use summons more actively. You had characters who like had a lot of stuff going on, but it didn't really matter as much. And Titus was technically a footballer from another timeline. Was technically a ghost footballer trying to save the world, and then whatever the fuck happened to 13. Like what something happened to 13 and everyone was like, "Oh, Jesus." Like that, and then you get to like more modern, like the most modern Final Fantasy currently, which is 15, otherwise known as Beautiful Boy Car Adventure. Here's Beautiful Boy Car Adventure. This is fine. Where it's just like, here's a car, here is my phone, and I'm taking pictures with it on my phone because I'm, like, this is fine. Everything is okay currently. But then people are like, well, I want Final Fantasy V. Like, these games are completely different. But in theory, Final Fantasy should be easy. That's why I'm kind of looking at it, because currently there's Final Fantasy D6, there's Omega Fantasy, and there's I think Final Fantasy D100 if I remember correctly. Let me open up my folder real fast here. Final Fantasy. Is this it? This isn't it, is it? Absolutely not. Why did I open this? I've made a mistake! Yeah, I don't, we're making that go away. We don't care. But you end up with things like, the Final Fantasy role playing game, which is something completely different. And it's its own completely different game. I believe this one's a D20 system. Yeah, like it goes over like the entire history of fucking Final Fantasy. Let's see, all the games. The basics of role playing, playing the game. This one is okay. No, come on, give me what I'm looking for. Yeah, so this is like a stacking dice system. So this would be the Final Fantasy RPG, third edition, and there are technically other ones, which I'll just put like other ones, because a lot of them are like Spanish or they are Brazilian or like Portuguese. It's like, oh, okay then, like we're looking at it. So I'll hunt around this week to see if I can't find more of what I can find. And if I can find more, cool. If I can't, well, we at least have these three for next week. And that's what we're going to be doing next week. So hopefully things go according to plan. Hopefully things don't blow up in my face. So thank you all for watching. My name is Notepad, and I hope you'll have a wonderful rest of your day. Godspeed, good luck, and I will catch you on Monday, hopefully. And on Monday, we're going to be working more on Waifu Core. And I'm going to want to kill myself because that game is hell. So thank you very much. I'll catch you all on the flip.